How's everyone doing tonight, or this evening, afternoon? I just want to say thank you to Felix and everyone there at WHU for inviting me to be a part and be able to speak to you guys. Can I get a round of applause for all the speakers that spoke before? I mean, yeah. I mean, I have to follow that up, though, you know? So I have a tough job here. Innovation and work ethic. Everyone's probably looking at, what is this football player going to talk about innovation? What does he know about innovation? Well, I'm going to give you a different twist on innovation, and that we need to innovate ourselves. That's something that doesn't get talked about a lot within this space. The average career for a professional athlete in football is only 3 years. I was happen to play 6 years. I spent 3 of those years injured. I'll be able to go through that through my slides. So how can a guy who's essentially damaged goods play for 6 years? Well, I constantly had to innovate myself. I constantly had to reinvent myself so that way I can keep my job, because everyone's expendable. Everyone in here is expendable if you work in a corporate structure, unless you're a boss of your own company. But if you're an employee, you're expendable because someone else could hire and bring you in the next day. So it's understanding these different things and how we fit and how we constantly need to be able to work on ourselves to be able to grow, to be able to progress what we want to achieve in life. And only person that can answer that question is you. Oh, go back for a second. Don't get set into one form, adapt it, and build your own. Let it grow. Be like water. Empty your mind, formless, shapeless, like water. That's Bruce Lee, a martial artist, movie star. But again, what does this mean, be like water? It means being adaptable. It means being able to grow. It means being able to learn, be able to work within your circumstance, within your situation. I just want to say thank you to everyone I had a conversation with today and yesterday, last night. I've learned from you being like water. Not being stuck in my own particular ways and how I feel, having the ability to be able to adapt and learn. Previous speaker, Sebastian, spoke about it earlier today, and being able to memorize various different tasks. Again, being moldable, being able to have the willingness and want to learn within a particular situation. What is innovation? Sir, what is innovation to you? What does that mean to you? Okay. You, what does innovation mean to you? Thought I heard in the back, behind you. Yes. Okay. What about yourself, ma'am?
I also think that sometimes you need to take what you have at hand and be creative to try to build something.
Most people think innovation is always synonymous with technology. But is it really? It's not. It is something new or something different that's introduced. The act of innovating, introduction of new things or methods. So why can't we do this for ourselves? Our society as a whole, on the worldscape, sometimes we get complacent. We get comfortable. People are scared to be uncomfortable. Why is this? People are scared to be able to see what their true limit is. Are we limitless, or is there a limit? Everyone says that the sky is the limit. Well, as we learned with the previous speech before, that we've gone to the moon, right? There's billions of stars and galaxies that are out there. So by nature, again, that is not the limit. There's more that's out there. So now can we adapt that to ourselves? How far are we willing to push ourselves to be great? That's something that we can ask ourselves, because it's an individual question. Work ethic. Again, this is something I'm familiar with, given my background and profession, and having to work constantly to be able to keep my job. It's a belief in the moral benefit and importance of work and its inherent ability to strengthen character. That's all work ethic is. So how hard are you willing to work to build your own character up? Again, this is only a question that you can answer. No one else can answer it for you. Everyone is so quick to tell you what to do in life. If it's family, if it's friends, if it's the government, if it's the world, everyone is telling you what you need to do. You need to think more on this. What is get more? Get more is a saying that was developed with my peers when I was playing with the Seattle Seahawks. And we adapted it into this work ethic situation. By the name of Roy Lewis is the one who created and adapted this term. We would go into, if we had a particular set of reps on the bench press of 10, call it, he would say, get more. So you knock out 2 more reps at your tired peak. Well, now you just did 12 when you were supposed to do 10. Well, if we have to run 8 sprints, well, let's get more, let's do 3 more. So it's constantly pushing yourself when you think you can't go anymore because you're tired and fatigued, and going beyond that aspect of being comfortable, making yourself uncomfortable. So if we're taking this mindset just from a workout situation, can we apply this to actual work in our craft? Of course we can. It's not allowing ourselves to be complacent within ourselves. It's self-perfection on wanting to be great. The only way you'll be able to do that is to be uncomfortable. Are you willing to be uncomfortable? How far are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to question your ability on what you're doing? I have. I've been there. I pushed myself to the limits to where I questioned in my second year playing football to where I don't even want to do this anymore because what am I doing? Questioning myself. Because I was constantly pushing myself until it got to the point to where, okay, that was easy. I've gotten to here. So when I do that same workout tomorrow, it's not as hard as it was the day before because I've already pushed myself beyond that point. So let's get more. Let's add another couple regiments onto that situation. It's exceeding one's limit of expectation. We create our own limits. We create our own boundaries as far as what we're capable of. We listen to the chatter. We listen to what everyone else is saying about us. You can't do that. Well, they're saying they can't do it because they've never done it. Not that you can't do it. It's because they've never done it. They're not willing to try. It's the same thing when back in the early 1900s, running the 4-minute mile, they said it was impossible. Your heart will explode. You cannot do it. It's physically not able to do it. And what happened? It took one individual to say, I can run a 4-minute mile. And sure enough, he ran a 4-minute mile. And now that's the standard for you to be an Olympic athlete in the mile, is to run under 4 minutes. If you're not running under 4 minutes, you're not able to compete at that high of a level. Again, he broke a boundary and created a boundary for everyone else to be able to accomplish. So what are we going to do as individuals to be able to create new boundaries? Again, Kessler, the speaker before myself, she created her own aeronautics program for women. No one else has done it before. She'd seen an opportunity and took the initiative herself. What are we going to do to be able to do our part to be able to create the change that we seek? First, we need to start with ourselves. Get more isn't a saying, it's a way of life. So we understand the situation, it's a way of life. Again, I've met individuals who encompass the get more lifestyle, and I've seen people who are scared to push themselves to get more. And it's a sad situation, especially when they want to pursue their dreams, and there's opportunities given to them to be able to chase their dreams, but they doubt themselves, they're scared, they lack the confidence. And they're waiting for the success. But all success is opportunity meeting preparation. So that means I need to be prepared, best of my ability, for an opportunity, whenever that opportunity may arise. And when that opportunity arises, am I prepared? Most situations, everyone's always looking, I want the opportunity, I want this, why can't I have this? This person has more success than I do. Well, he just capitalized or her capitalized on that opportunity when it was presented to them, based off how they prepared. Again, it's all self-inflicted. It's not anyone else. It's all about what comes down to me. Again, what am I willing to do to chase my dreams? That's a question that needs to be asked. And what is a brand? It's a kind or a variety of something distinguished by some distinctive characteristics. So by nature, I'm a brand, you're a brand, you're a brand, you're a brand. Everyone's a brand because everyone is unique. Everyone has distinctive characteristics that make them who they are. So in this day and age of technology, social media, again, social media is not as integrated within your guys' culture as it is in American culture. It's everything, and as far as part of our life over there in the States, because everyone's a brand. Advertisers are going to individuals and paying them based off of their followership. Because again, at the end of the day, you're still reaching hundreds of thousands, millions of people based off of your influence on whatever the case is on your social media. And companies are willing to pay a monetary advertising to be able to reach that audience that they probably wouldn't reach before. Going back to we're brands. All the students in here that graduate from university, again, what are you going to do? You're going to put together a resume. You're going to go ship it, and you're going to shop it around to a bunch of different corporations, competing against your peers, competing against people that you've never met before. In turn, you're a brand, because your brand is, what value do you bring to my corporation? If you don't have value, then I'm going to look for somebody who has value. And if you're doing a job and you get complacent and your job is not compared to that, well, I'm going to find someone else who can do the job better than you can do it, and probably get it for a lot cheaper at that price. Again, I understood why playing professional football, I'm a brand. I'm also an independent contractor, and I'm also a work for hire. I'm also goods of service. See, this is the thing that we fail to realize within the professional aspect of sports, that we're just a commodity. After a while, that commodity gets broken, it gets old, it gets outdated. It's just like this cell phone. This is a brand. It's the Samsung Galaxy S9. It's a brand. In 5 years, it's going to be obsolete. You're going to have a Galaxy 14. It's outdated. It's going to be outdated. Again, it's the exact same thing within my profession or anybody else's profession. Again, we have to constantly reinvent of who we are to be able to grow and keep up with the times. You're a brand. So start thinking like one. It's not that hard of a situation. Again, it's just maximizing your full potential as an individual, and you'll see the results as far as what you want. Everything came up. 2009, I came in damaged. 2009 was my senior year in college. I tore 3 of the 4 ligaments in my knee. So I spent a lot of time having to think. I was in a position of being able to compete and be a first-round draft choice, going to a situation of, am I going to get drafted? Is anybody going to pick me up? What am I going to do after football's over? The career is only 3 years. So that injury allowed me to be able to reinvent myself from a personal standpoint as far as what I want to do once I was done, and also reinvent myself from my personal craft as an athlete, because I have a devastating knee injury as well. So the way I used to play wasn't going to be the way I was going to play moving forward. 2011. The 5th game of the season. A couple years, 2 years later, I break my fibula. I'm done for the year. 5 months later, I re-break the same leg. During this time, I started a film production company, because that was another one of my passions and dreams that I wanted to accomplish. So I started a film production company. But during this time from 2009 to 2011, I was preparing and I was studying. I was learning everything I needed to learn in the film space on how to produce, how to put a budget together, the parts of how the whole operation works. I took my training that I would do in the exact same method of in football as far as studying and preparing, and took that same mentality of preparing for film. And I took that same mentality as studying technology, and I took that same passion to doing philanthropy. Again, because once you break down the core essence of what something is, you're able to see the whole spectrum of what business may be. 2014, the climb to Everest. This was the year we came together as a team and went to the Super Bowl. We had a situation on defense where each person was playing for the person next to them. They weren't playing for themselves. But in turn, everyone worked on themselves, and everyone was going to maximize their own potential for the greater good of the team. We were able to weed out individuals who weren't trying to be a part of this team, who weren't trying to be a part of to win a championship. And in turn, we had everybody from the janitor at the facility to the owner of the whole corporation thinking the same mindset. And in turn, it translated into us being able to win a championship. It's trusting the process. It's trusting yourself. It's trusting the people next to you that you're working with. Trusting that you're going to do your job, whatever that job may be. The negative situations can breed positivity. Here, my torn knee laid up, broken leg. I look at those situations of not feeling down and feeling pity for myself, but what's next? What can I do to get better? Just because one thing is taken away from doing this particular thing, now I need to retrain myself and retrain my brain to be able to do something else. This whole process is working on myself. What do I want to accomplish in life? If it's from a sports athletic standpoint or if it's from a career-wise. What do I want to do? And how am I going to get there? What is the bigger picture of my life's purpose? Why am I here? These are all questions that I've been asking myself for the past 3 decades. The road less traveled. I'm retiring. 6 years. Had one of the best years statistically of my career. And I had people asking, why are you retiring? Why don't you go back to play? You get your best year. You're going to get a contract averaging $4 or $5 million a year. Well, my heart's not in it. And I just went through a whole list of all the injuries that I had. And I actually skipped one because I also tore the tendon off my arm as well in 2015. These aspects of me knowing who I am and people not understanding my other passions that I've had put me in a box. So again, I find myself in a situation of having to innovate myself and reinvent who I am. I'm starting to listen to the chatter. Friends, family, strangers. It doesn't matter. Everyone is saying, why'd you retire? Why? Why are you giving that up? Of course, I'm a jock, right? I can never have no passions outside of my sport. They didn't understand this. And in turn, I allowed that negative talk infiltrate. But if I'm sticking to myself and being true and honest with myself, I'm standing right here in front of you guys. If I would have listened to that chatter and allow that to be able to weigh in, I would have never met a friend Jacob, which got me to meet Felix, and in turn allowed me to be here and speak in front of you guys. Again, it's trusting myself, trusting my ability, and trusting the process, and constantly working on myself. I challenge everyone here, control. Let go of the control of the things that you can't control, and take control of your life. Find alternative methods and means to be able to do that. Personally, in your workspace, or whatever you believe. Delete the things that don't matter and only are going to hinder you and stop you. And then rethink. Rethink who you are. Rethink your personal situation. Rethink your business. Rethink yourself. Within doing all these different things, you're going to be able to see a new and improved self. And in turn, if everyone is taking the same type of steps, we'll be able to create change not only in ourselves, but we'll be able to create change that will last forever. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.